More fallout today from former President Donald Trump's false claims that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from him. A bipartisan group of senators is meeting today to change the 1887 Electoral Count Act. And it's basically an obscure election bill that became the focal point of President Trump's team's effort to overturn the 2020 election. Now, this all comes on the heels of a wave of election reforms where dozens of states enacted stricter legislation to boost voter confidence, they say. NBC News deputy political editor Ben Camisar is standing by. But first, I do want to go to senior national political reporter Sahil Kapur, who joins us live from Capitol Hill. Sahil, what are the kinds of changes that these senators are looking at? What would that mean for voters, especially, in November?
Morgan, this group in the Senate is meeting later this afternoon to continue their negotiations over crafting a package of election reforms aimed at preventing elections from being stolen in the future. One of the leaders of the group, Senator Susan Collins, a Republican from Maine, told me yesterday that they have already agreed on certain things, such as changes to the 1887 Electoral Count Act to clarify the role of the vice president. They want to raise the threshold for objectors so that it's not just one member of the House and one member of the Senate, who could force Congress to revisit the counting of certain electoral votes. We have more on this in a graphic. Let's put it up on the screen. In addition, she talked about how the presidential transition period, there should be new rules to make sure that one administration peacefully hands over power to the next in statute. So those are the things that they have agreed on. There are still some sticking points, some complicated issues that they're talking to academics and legal experts over, and interconnected issues where states have certain powers, the federal government has certain powers, and it's hard to reconcile them. Republicans in the group, several of them, tell me that certain Democrats want to add voting rights provisions, including changes or reauthorizations, I should say, of the Voting Rights Act. And that's a problem for Republicans. They have no interest in doing anything in that space. They are solely focused on a narrow bill that would prevent presidents or candidates in the future from stealing elections. They say the issue is the 1887 Electoral Count Act. So that's where we stand now. What it would mean for voters, simply more security in knowing that the person who wins an election takes power and the person who loses cannot steal an election after losing, Morgan.
Sahil, you mentioned moderate senators like Susan Collins, Mitt Romney. What are the chances that a bill will actually make it to the president's desk this year?
That honestly depends on who you talk to, Morgan. There are different opinions among different senators. The Democrats in the group are unified in saying this must happen, this can happen, and this will happen this year in 2022. Remember, there's a midterm election in November. More likely than not, the House of Representatives, at the very least, will switch to Republican hands and be controlled by firm allies of Donald Trump. It's far from clear they will have any interest in engaging in negotiations on an effort on a package of this sort. So it needs to happen this year if it is to have any chance, according to the Democrats. And the Republicans largely say it can happen this year. They're a little bit less firm about the fact that it must. Senator Mitt Romney yesterday, when I asked him, he said you should ask others in the group that. There is another senator in the group, Tom Tillis, the Republican of North Carolina, who several months ago said May would be a realistic timeline. I asked him about it yesterday. He said, maybe more like the summer. So it is slipping. And as is often the case in Congress, in significant negotiations like this, time is not on their side, Morgan.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.